Now then, so we are currently approaching the end of our first site that we've been staying on. We've been here for nearly 2 weeks. I thought I'd just sort of put this video out to explain why we're doing what we're doing and what sort of brought us here to this point, and how the initial setup of getting the caravan, getting the bits and pieces that we needed, and everything like that, how that's sort of gone, what hiccups we've found, what things that we've struggled with, and all bits and pieces like that. So first off, we have sold our first home together. We renovated a house, and the intention was maybe to stay there a little bit longer than we did beforehand, but we decided that the time was right, and we wanted to move on and do more property. We wanted to renovate more houses. So one of the biggest things that we disliked whilst doing the renovation was the mess. And anybody who's done any property work or anything like that will understand that the mess involved with doing any kind of work is just unbelievable, and living in amongst that, it sometimes is just unbearable. So we decided that we would get ourselves a caravan of our own, and we would try living in that whilst we do some more renovations. So that's sort of how we came to where we're at now. We were initially hoping to be able to buy a new caravan, but that didn't happen, and in a way I'm sort of glad, because anybody looking at buying caravans and looking at the new market will understand that they cost an absolute arm and a leg. So that, I'm kind of glad in a way that we didn't, but I'll go into that further in another video. So we actually feel like we got quite a steal with this caravan. It's had 2 previous owners, and neither of which seem to have used it very much, so it's in very, very good condition, which really, that's what we were looking for. We didn't want something that was a bit tired, that looked a bit ropey. We wanted somewhere nice to live. We were giving up somewhere nice, so we wanted to continue with somewhere nice, but just a lot smaller. So we found this van, and basically a startup pack. It came with everything. It had 2 awnings, it had all the crockery, cutlery, pots and pans, it had 2 tellies. The list of stuff that it had with it was amazing, really. It was great. They were just giving up everything and just selling up. So that's, I suppose, why we feel like we've got a bit of a bargain. There's a few bits that we've purchased, small bits like kettle and toaster, stuff like that they didn't have in here, but there was also, like, the awning that it came with was an inflatable. Both of the awnings were inflatables, which, fantastic kit, really easy to put up, really easy to take down, good quality. They were camper awnings, and we've actually been using Camper Rally Air 260. That's my grandparents' awning that we've been using whilst we've been using their caravan. So I already knew that Camper was a good brand, but on uneven pitches air awnings just aren't that great. So this is a long caravan, and it was a long awning that came with this caravan. So the gradient is sort of exaggerated over that length. So we did manage to get it up and looking all right, but I sort of felt that we would be better off with a full awning. So a full awning it was. We managed to find one again, second hand, on Facebook Marketplace, from a couple that actually they'd had their caravan measured and it was the wrong size. So it had only been up once. So it's a Isabella Ambassador Seed. Now, from looking on the website, I don't believe this one's available anymore. However, the Isabella Ambassador Dawn basically looks exactly the same. So that one was going to be way out of our budget, way more than what we wanted to spend. So we decided that second hand was the best way to go. Again, with it only being up once, it was in great condition. Still, well, it is in great condition. So we have got that, put that up, and we've actually managed to sell the Camper Ace Air Pro 500S, I think it is, that we had before. So we've managed to sell that and recoup a little bit of money. So it's all about balancing out, because we didn't want to just be shelling out a load of money on new kit. So it's all been done in a bit of a balance. Buy something, sell something to make a little bit of money back. So we've got that. We have taken out a few bits that they had that we didn't necessarily need to use. I've taken out one of the tellies because, to be honest, we don't really watch that much telly. So the one that's actually behind the camera here on the wall is plenty enough. So we've got that, and I feel like now we're probably actually set with everything that we need in and out of the van. So this sort of is what we're going to take around with us, and we should be able to function day to day with what we've got. We should be able to live quite comfortably, really. We've got things like an air fryer, the oven, which is just like a modern home gas oven and hobs. So all of that stuff to sort of make ease of living, really. Another thing that we've got in here that I wasn't actually that fixed on when we were looking at a new caravan. It would have been nice, but I wasn't that fond of the price to have it added on as an extra, is the air conditioning that's on the roof. So this past two weeks has been quite warm, especially the past few days has been really warm. So we've had that on pretty much every day, and I would say that anybody going to live in a caravan or a motorhome or anything, just consider that it's a lot hotter in a tin shed than it is in a house. So unless you're happy being outside a lot of the time, then I would suggest seriously thinking about the air conditioning. That's a Truma air conditioning unit that's on the roof. But yeah, that I overlooked that, but actually that's a great bit of kit and well worth the extra money. So as well as that, we also had to take into account the fact that we were going to be living in here. So like things like showering and doing the washing up and stuff like that, how can we make this as easy as possible? Now, people who have been caravanning or motorhoming, that sort of thing, you'll all have experienced at some point running out of water whilst you're in the shower. So the barrels that are outside, we've got two 40-litre aqua rolls outside. There's also a 40-litre onboard tank at the back, and then there's a 10-litre, I believe, either 10 or 15-litre, if memory serves me correct, underneath this bench seat here. So one of the big things is when you're halfway through a shower, if you run out of water, you don't want to be going outside. So that was something that in a touring situation, like when you're on holiday, actually there's normally a shower block, normally somewhere you can go for a shower. But we're staying on sites that are really small, like this one that we're on at the minute. It's a small site, it's a 5-van site. There's no facilities, there's no toilet block or anything like that. So we need to be self-sufficient. So from a showering aspect, having that onboard tank, even if it spends 90% of the time empty, actually filling that up and keeping that on board for when you have a shower, just in case that barrel outside runs out, I can just come out here, or Georgia can just come out here, flick a switch, and it'll draw from there. So then, as opposed to having 40 litres of water, you've then got 80 litres of water, just in case you need that for that amount of time in the shower. You'll be amazed at how quickly you get through water when you're having a shower, especially if you're one of these people that is used to just standing under the shower and allowing it to run on them. You'll run out of hot water obviously quicker, which is another thing that I'll come on to in another video about the Audi heating system in here, because that is a game changer, having everything controlled by one panel. But that's something else I'll come on to in a different video. But having the ability to choose your temperature of your water, so that you can have the water hotter, so you've got you're able to dilute it more with the cold water, so in effect you're able to draw more water through before running out of warm water. I might not have explained that very well, but people who have been caravanning will understand what I'm meaning. So that onboard tank was quite a nice addition. That was definitely something that I wasn't bothered about. If it didn't come with it, it's not the end of the world. We tend to have pretty quick showers, so yeah, it's not that much of a big deal. So from an inside perspective, the criteria for us with the caravan was we wanted the L-shaped living area because it gives more floor space, it makes this area feel bigger, so that when we're both in here and spending, I don't know, a day off work or something together in here, it doesn't feel really cramped. Another thing on the criteria was we wanted a fixed bed. So in my grandparents' caravan that we were borrowing before, that didn't have a fixed bed. Now, after 4 or 5 years of caravanning together, we were sort of flipping a coin on who was making the bed and putting the bed away, because it was really getting that much of a chore. So doing that day to day was absolutely, there was no chance. So fixed bed, that was on there. Centre bathroom, because if we do have people staying, like we've got a trip planned to France next year, and we've got George's cousin and his wife staying with us, so we needed them to not have to walk through the bedroom area to get to the bathroom, so that needed to be in the middle. And we also needed a little shelf, which actually initially was planned to be for a little tabletop dishwasher, which actually it turns out is a lot bigger than what I expected, so that's not going to fit on there. But we've got one of these new Ninja Stack air fryer things, so that's on there. So that was the criteria for inside and we've pretty much we have hit all of those, because they were sort of non-negotiable things. In terms of living with like outside, so we've got in the awning, we've got a little camp cupboard. We've got 2 camp cupboards now actually. We've got a table and chairs, and we have also got a couple of tub chairs that we just use as a little separate area to sit. I'll sort of put a video in somewhere, I think around about now. So this is in the awning, little seating area there, cupboard, another cupboard, table and chairs. So that was outside, and then I'll also insert a little clip of basically how we have it set up in here. So that should come on now. So this is how we live day to day. Normally he's outside, so that frees up a bit of floor space, and when the crate's not there, the footstool just there goes in its place. So we've got the shower, which is just here, and then bedroom, but we'll come to that in a minute. Then into this side we've got the bathroom, so we can partition that off with that door there, and then we can also partition off the bedroom with this door, which is really good. This is where I've taken the telly off the wall. I've got to find some more of these little stickers that match just to cover that up. So the bedroom, the bed lifts up, so there's a lot of storage underneath there, and the water tank's in there as well. That is generally the setup that we've gone for. So that's how we're living day to day. One of the biggest things with living in a caravan is, especially if you're going to be moving, is keeping an eye on your weight. Now, where we're on the road, we've got a maximum weight of 1 ton per axle. So this is a twin axle caravan, so it's allowed to be 2 ton. That's great, sounds like loads, but actually it's not that much. So that's a big thing to be mindful of, your weight, when you're putting all your stuff in, and you do get carried away with what stuff you think you need. So yeah, that's a little bit about everything really. Obviously, like I was saying, be mindful of the weight. It's something that does sometimes get overlooked, but it is a big deal. If you do get pulled over, you are going to have problems. So yeah, be mindful of that. I think I've touched on everything that I wanted to for the first video. It's gone on for a bit. I feel like it's gone on for a bit, maybe it hasn't. But yeah, there's more to come.